Blank Beats Production.
Welcome all to the first panel discussion of 8th PSU IT Forum. I know some of the panelists here, so look forward to have a very engaging discussion. So I think the whole point, we've been doing some of these discussions for some time, and it's not that technology is new in the oil and gas domain. But I think what is increasingly becoming relevant nowadays is the ability to adopt new technologies and scale with the existing ones. And I think you touched upon some of that, Vikram, in your relevant presentation. So with that, given it's not, I would say, new in that sense, I wanted to start off, and maybe Mr. Behera, I'll start off with your side, and this is a question for the entire panel, and maybe each of you can give your thoughts. Is each of your organizations has been going through some form of a digital journey, right? In various, I would say, as we say, in the maturity curve. And how do you see your organization going through that? And what have been some of the achievements thereof that you can really maybe talk about, and that can be the starting point for the discussion? So maybe Mr. Behera, I'll start off with you at the end.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for giving this opportunity over here. Basically, Indraprastha Gas is a company which established for some reason. At 1998 it has been established when the pollution level in Delhi is very low. Okay. That time it has been established, and with aim to reduce the pollution level. Over the years, it has been successfully achieved, and now the progression is carry on. As far as digital transformation is concerned, the IGL has started its journey at 2005 with implementation of SAP. Further going forward, the other functional modules are keep on adding to fulfill the requirement of the business needs. Then during that period, our thrust area was for CNG operations. Going forward, in the year of 2015, the drastically change happened. The digital transformation happened, and many changes we have done in the system. First, upgradation of our SAP system, along with so many other modules of SAP we have implemented for requirement of business needs in that way. And due course of time, we have achieved almost 800 CNG stations in Delhi and on some other GA, and more than 2.2 million customers, PNG customers in the pan-India region. IGL is a customer-centric organization. On the basis of that, we have done some kind of non-SAP applications also to mitigate the requirements of the organization. That is one of the major is IGL Connect app. That is very user-friendly app we have developed. Through that app, a customer can lodge, mainly apply for the connection, lodge complaint, billing. Beauty of this is the self-billing is there. So customer can do himself billing. That is the beauty of the system. And same time, meter reading submission is there. Apart from that, during that period, we have done some other module of SAP, that is CRM, BCM, Business Communication Management, that is for call center activities, automate the call center activities. We are using BI, we are using ECM, Enterprise Content Management, for storing all our customer document so that any third-party application can be accessed seamlessly with proper security features. After that, we have done many applications related to internal and external field. One is for CNG perspective, we have done a queue management system that is totally automated through our CCTV capture. We have count the objects of the all stations, and based on that numbers, we are the waiting period is calculated and updated in our website. So any consumer can see what is the waiting period of particular station in that way. So that is a automated system is done. Other part is when our DMA agents going to each customer premises to take the meter reading, that is also totally automated. It is taking the snapshot of these meters. According the OCR is generated, and that from OCR that number will be captured, and the number will automatically transferred to our SAP system. From there, that automatically billing is generated, and same time billing is coming to the customer within some few seconds in that way. So many automation is there, and basis of that we have reached in this position, and very soon we are also in the process of doing some paperless automation over there, so that we'll remove all the papers in our offices. Apart from this, we are also done SD-WAN solution. That is first time in a CGD industry, you can say we have implemented last 3 years back. On the basis of that, 150 locations have been connected with that SD-WAN solution with the use of broadband and lease line for better monitoring and controlling. Then after that, we have done many automation towards customer centric. These are voice bot, chat bot, social CRM. So we kept customer complaints can be lodged from the feeding of social sites, and that can be create a ticket in our CRM system. That can be, or that has been already automated in that way. So these are the digitization we have done for IGL so far.
No, thank you so much, Mr. Behera. And I can clearly see a theme of customer centricity in some of that. And by this customer, I not just mean external customer, but internal as well. So some of the initiatives that you're looking. And interestingly, I note actually the setup here is we start with gas and some downstream and then moving up to upstream. So it's a very good sequencing. So coming to you, Mr. Biswas, to maybe carry forward some of those themes on the gas front. What are some of the elements that you're seeing GAIL has been undertaking, and your opening statements on digitalization there?
I will tell about the adoption of technology, digital technology by GAIL. Actually, GAIL was formed in 1984, and from day one, GAIL went digital, because initially when we had our edge user pipeline, we implemented SCADA system using our own captive network, which was based on microwave. So although that time data, very little, like 9.6 kbps data links were used, but anyway, it was a digital step. So as on date, we have 3 data centers where we have disaster recovery center and a nearline data center also to achieve zero data loss. We are running our SCADA system. We are running our SAP ERP, and we have our private cloud also. But this journey started long back. So, like in 1995, we went for PC infrastructure. Then we had standalone packages like human resource management, material management, and then in 95 to 2003, we went for establishing a network through which we have connected all our locations, and we went for email solution, internet solutions. Then in 2003, 2008, we came up with our data center infrastructure, and we went for SAP ERP solution. Then after that, in 2008, 2015, we established our disaster recovery center and nearline data center so that we can achieve zero data loss for our SAP ERP. And after that, we went in 2005 to 18 time, we went for virtualization infrastructure in our data center. But we are running our private cloud. Then analytic and mobility solutions we implemented. We started our limited SOC also that time, SOC. Then after 2018, we started many things like digital awareness program, cyber security awareness program. Then we had established a complete SOC solution. We went for robotic process automation solutions also. Then we all have started paperless e-office solution. And now we are in the process of switching from on-prem to cloud with our SAP solution. These are the things GAIL have adopted.
No, thank you so much, Mr. Biswas. I can see a lot of that is around operational elements that you've done from a long time that you've done. So I think that's very critical, and that brings me, in fact, now that we start with some of the oil marketing companies, I see Mr. Ramakrishnan is here, so maybe we'll switch to you, sir, to get and before we come to Mr. Panda, so that we can continue the oil marketing stream, is, you know, your opening statements on the journey that BPCL has taken. So some of it would be operational, like Mr. Biswas, but there is an equivalent element of marketing and customer oriented as well in your digital journey. And I know BPCL has done it in two parts. You've looked at your marketing side of this digital journey, and you've looked at the refinery side of it. So maybe if you would want to share some thoughts and achievements on BPCL side.
Yeah. Firstly, I'm sorry for the delay. Just flight got delayed. Okay. And see, as far as the BPCL journey in technology is concerned, we first implemented SAP in the year 1999. Okay, and that made the beginning of a lot of technology initiatives and digital journey of BPCL. And after implementing SAP in 1999, we automated a lot of processes. Okay, and basically to increase the productivity, we implemented SCM, supply chain management. Okay, then I would like to give few examples. Like first thing is our centralized invoicing based at Kargar. No, it is a massive scale we have implemented. That was we implemented 10 years back. Okay, in a month we are using OCR technology, and we have in a month we process around 50,000 invoices worth 15,000 crores. Okay, amounting catering to 32,000 vendors. Okay, and on a monthly basis maybe around 50,000 invoices may be processing. So we are doing it on a big scale. Okay, and basically what has happened because of this is it has built up the trust, the transparency, it has improved the governance. Okay, another one is the base in Kargar is a accounts receivable setup, where we do automatic, we have got, businesses we are doing refinery, marketing and all that. So the customer matching of, customer accounts matching, it is almost done automatically. Almost for 95% of the customers, we do automatic matching. And so that has, it has improved the agility and, the speed of doing transactions, okay. And it has brought about a lot of addressed a lot of governance issues and all that, okay. That is one major achievement. And other one is, see, we have been, so right from 1999, we have been doing a lot of automation initiatives. Another one I would like to talk about is the, in all our, retail outlets and various operating locations. I will give an example of this, regarding our LPG packing at various, filling of LPG cylinders at various plants, okay. Right from the movement of LPG bulk from the refineries and the various ports, when it comes to the LPG filling plants, the entire process is automated, okay. Like right from the vehicle allocation at the plants, vehicle allocation and the filling, everything is totally, even the dispatch of cylinders from the plants, everything is fully automated, and which has basically addressed a lot of issues like the demurrage payment at the ports, even the dryouts in the market, as there is no dryouts at all in the market, okay. So it has improved the operations in the plant, okay, and that is one example I would like to. Other one is, see, as far as another example is this, this maritime logistics. Maritime logistics fully integrated, right. Today, what is happening is, see, we import crude for our refineries, okay. So today we are in a position to, to track the movement of the vessel, okay. The vessel which comes to our for the crude oil which we take from the, which is almost 80% is imported, okay. So today, suppose that has also addressed the demurrage issue. Like suppose we want to speed up the ship which comes to the refineries, okay. We are in a, all the information is available in our dashboard, okay. So it is fully integrated. The communication which is, which comes from the captain of the ship, it gets captured in the dashboard, okay. So we will be able to, if we want to tell him to speed up the vessel, then we are in a position to add more fuel and the vessel can be speeded up and we can get the vessel on, maybe 1 day or 2 days before the scheduled arrival. So all those automation has really helped one. And another one, and as far as the last 2-3 years, if you see a lot of digital initiatives we have undertaken, okay. One thing which I would like to talk about is that like everybody must be using, going to the petrol pumps. The operations at the petrol pump is fully automated, okay. You see right from the dispensers are there, the prices which are displayed in the dispensers, it moves from our centrally, it moves to the dispenser. Unless the prices are displayed, sales cannot happen from the nozzles, okay. And the prices are updated on a daily basis. And if there is some, if the prices are not updated, then the sale cannot take place, okay. Similarly, if some, even the quality checks in the petrol pump, if some water goes into the petrol tank, okay, sale cannot take place, okay, nozzle sale, it will stop the sale happening. Similarly, if some issue in the dispenser is concerned, if some technical issue is there, sale cannot take place, and the complaint goes to the vendor automatically from the system, okay. And not only the complaint, the vendor will come to the petrol pump, address the issue of the dispenser, even the billing also will take place automatically, okay. So there is absolutely no human intervention at all, okay. And see, last 2-3 years, digital initiatives, we have undertaken a lot of digital initiatives, particularly customer-centric initiatives, okay. Like we have got this, the IRIS is the digital nerve center of BPCL. It has built up, it is the customer-facing initiative. It gives a unified face of BPCL to the customer coming under various segments, a lot of petroleum products which we market. So all the customers, we have given a unified face. It has built up trust, transparency. The ease of doing business with BPCL has improved drastically. Okay, and many of them may be using, the app of BPCL, Allow BPCL. Okay, Allow BPCL allows customer to, order various products from BPCL, make payments. Okay, it will give the payment link and customer can, comfortably make payments. Now, for example, you take, everybody must be using LPG cylinders. Okay, for ordering LPG cylinders, making payments, everything is through the app. It can be done. So it is a very smooth sailing process. Okay. Then we have got chatbot is there. Okay, which is another initiative. Okay, which is available in 12 languages. Okay, and even CRM, the customer relationship management in Salesforce, that is it has given us a lot of advantages. Like we have got all the data of the customers, the current customers, and the prospective customers. Okay. So like that, lot of initiatives we have implemented. Another one is the, a person who goes to the petrol pump, he can, through QR code, he can make the payment. Okay. That is another initiative. And in fact, the tracking of our products, for example, in the case of lubricants, if we want to track the product, whether it has reached the customer or not, through the QR code, we will be able to track it. So like that, lot of initiatives we have implemented. And so ultimately, all these digital initiatives has, improved the ease of doing business with BPCL. It has improved the efficiency, and definitely it has reduced the cost.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a very important point, and you also talked about interfaces like Urja, which is your bot that you have. But the key point about it improves your costs and business decision making, right? I think a lot of digital is really not just efficiency and automation, but actually improving profits, right? Whether it is enhancing your reach with revenues or reducing your costs and improving, like some of the LPG examples. So, Mr. Panda, coming to you and again looking at from HPCL standpoint, what are some of these similar initiatives and how important it has been from improving business?
Okay. I come from HPCL, so most of the initiatives which sir has already said, some of them are in our organization also. We were on JD Edwards ERP since 2002, 2003. Very recently, we have moved over to SAP S/4HANA, and over a period of last 20 years, there was a huge number of applications that had been built around JD Edwards, and now we are in the process of consuming some of them within SAP and taking over some of the good applications that we have, like vessel management system, which sir was talking about. We have a complete system which does vessel management system and even damage calculations and insurance premium calculations for shipping, all in-house developed application. We also have a very robust eProc application which is pretty successful and running very successfully, and we are in fact offering that on SaaS platform for other organizations also. So now we have taken up this initiative of going forward and consolidating these huge number of applications. Of course, KPMG was one of our consultants in our digital journey, which we have undertaken a few years back. And one of the recommendations which was there from KPMG was that we need to consolidate this huge number of applications. So that is also a big initiative which is going on. Now, coming to digital technology adoption, one of the most successful digital initiatives which we have recently done is the demand forecasting. And as of October, the accuracy levels are more than 96-97% with regard to LPG, MS, HSD across the pan-India. Each of the districts, the demand forecasting results have been improving, and last, as I heard in October, it was crossing 96% for LPG and 98 plus for MS. So this is one of the successful initiatives. We have also done a few of the initiatives on AI/ML with regard to process anomaly detection, pipeline leak detection. So these are already in various stages of rollout. And with regard to some vibration monitoring and smart sensors data in refinery, we are using that for detecting defects and forecasting defects of breakdown times in advance. That's also helping the refinery team. Now, the other challenge that we are facing is a lot of this data is available in OT systems. So now we are trying to integrate IT, OT data so that real-time dashboards can be available, and we are working on it on something like Sir told regarding the control center. We are also going ahead with a command and control center, which is also under progress. The challenge we see in these kind of initiatives is not all the use cases are mature enough. Some of the use cases are yet to mature, and they're in various stages of maturity, so it's not easy to put it immediately to use. Then the data requirements to have those kind of systems and the clean data, that is also one of the challenges. Then in IT-OT integration, the other challenge we are getting is with regard to the various different protocols which OT systems use and the variety of OT systems which we have in different layers. So there are no open protocols, and equipments being old, they're not smart equipments. The recent equipments are smart equipments, so we can communicate through common protocols. So that is another challenge that we face. But we are tiding over these challenges, and we are also putting a lot of stress on free and open source software adoption. Now, the other area is CRM. We already have CRM. Now that we have gone for SAP S/4HANA, we have also centralized our payments, which was happening all across the country. Similar to BPCL, we have done it in Mumbai at RCF headquarters. We have had complete space, and we are doing the entire image processing solution integrated with OpenText Vim and SAP for doing the payments. I'll take a leaf out of what Sir said with regard to accounts receivable. We are not doing much in that. We would like to look into that area. That's a very good area which says more than majority of the customer reconciliations, they are doing it. In our case, we need to adapt to that. And KPMG is our consultant, and they have been helping out with these solutions. We have been going for metaverse implementation with one of the startups called Simulanis. So there are multiple digital technologies we are trying to get in, but yes, they are in various stages of maturity. So we need to.
Sure. Sure. No, thank you, Mr. Panda. And I think you're right. I mean, while HPCL has started off on that Parikalp journey, and Mr. Nambiar coming to you, iOS has probably started off even before with your iDrive, right? So maybe as you talk about some of these elements, and there will be similarities, maybe you might also want to talk about some of the challenges that also Mr. Panda mentioned, the data and the integration. I remember there were elements within Indian Oil where some of the integration were through a SOAP protocol, whereas things have moved to a REST, right? I mean, I'm not saying let's get into that technical, but as you talk about some of those achievements, maybe you've seen a fair degree of maturity also on the supplier side, etc., and those challenges maybe you also want to touch on.
Yeah, as far as I think Mr. Panda and Mr. Ramakrishnan has already covered most of what we are also doing in the same field, coming from the same sector. So, coming to, we also started quite some time back, because with digitization starting in the early 90s, and then coming to SAP in 2005 and CRM in 2014, those digitization activities, and then we had a lot of data that is getting accumulated into our systems. And then 2019 is when we decided to have the implementation of digital transformation, because the data lying in our pool of servers doesn't make much sense. So we started our iDrive project, Indian Oil's Digital Readiness and IT Vision Enablement project. With this, we identified about 79 digital initiatives, and then we kicked this off with basically classifying into foundational, future-proofing, and transformational initiatives. Classified further as high-impact analytics, emerging new technologies, and then some COTS tools, and of course underlying with the change management. So high impact analytics, when you see, there are a lot of AI and ML based analytics that we have pursued in all the different divisions, like whether it is refineries, marketing, pipelines, etc. In refineries, basically they were with respect to yield optimizations, predictive maintenance, and things like that. In marketing, there were many tools like analytics tools that have been put in, some of the cost tools that we have actually procured with B2B pricing tool with KPMG is also involved in that. And then the coastal scheduler, identifying of TC and VC vessels, comparison of that. Then the crude scheduler, the integrated demand and integrated planning tool that is actually in the way or about to be launched. We have refinery production schedulers, which are huge projects. Then we have, as far as other technologies, yes, we have the AR, VR based systems, the chatbots, which are on the systems for customer centric. And network side, we already have the complete retail automation that has been done. Every retail outlet is integrated to a central system and data collection flows automatically. And with respect to data, as Mr. Panda was already talking about OT and IT data integration, because that was where the gap was in a large way, because the IT always considered it secure and separate from the OT sector. And OT sector was governed by a lot of vendors, high value products and high value projections, where refineries and pipelines had these SCADA systems, and they're all very costly systems. So this integration actually gives a lot of leverage to and productivity increase as well as cost benefits to the organization. So this challenges what we are talking about with respect to protocol mismatch, like whether it is MQTT or any other Modbus or any other technologies. Today, most of them are getting solved with OPC infrastructure, because in pipelines we have implemented the OPC infrastructure. So separate OT network is coming up, has come up with pipelines. We have OT, SOC, and also being thought of because security systems at our corporate data center. And so we have a complete infrastructure and an ecosystem that governs the digital layers of the organization, which will yield a lot of benefits in cost as well as other profitability. And also we are into now the going for alternate energy. As you all know, that the entire nation is going towards that, the entire world is going towards that with COP28 and COP26 decisions that are coming. So the Panchamrit and all those things are in the way. So we are also looking for ESG dashboards. A cascading dashboard is on the anvil, which entails the entire KPI being demonstrated on a single dashboard, with right from the chairman dashboard, chairman to the field officers. So which gives a complete picture of the performance of the organization, and that will entail quick decisions, faster implementation of products. So as you know, Indian Oil's digital journey has been one of the fastest in the last 4 years. We have gained a lot of traction, and more than 200 plus applications, digital transformation applications are being undertaken by us.
Great. No, thank you, Mr. Nambiar. And you're right, there are of course similarities. You talked about the chairman dashboard, the digital command control. You have the command center as well in BPCL. A lot of the operational elements, vessel scheduling and crude scheduler, etc. So coming to you, Mr. Krishna, pivoting to now from the upstream side, right? I mean, you're probably more B2B, but having said that, ONGC is also focusing a lot more on alternate energy, like Mr. Nambiar is saying. And also your infrastructure is, I would say, more remote in that sense. You've got offshore, onshore, and so on and so forth. How has been the journey? I know you've also gone through a digital strategy and roadmap, but how has been the journey, and with these changes happening, what are you seeing?
Thank you. So ours is a very technology intensive activity that we do. So if you see from early 70s, we had supercomputers, probably the only PSU outside of universities and the government. But coming to the business area, we started with in 2002-03 with SAP implementation. And that happened to be one of the largest at that time in Asia because of the number of modules that we use and the number of users, sheer number of users that we used. So what you rightly said, our expanse has been such, even though our locations are remote, they are number more than 400. So because of that, the activity, each activity becomes a big job in itself. When we implemented SCADA across all these locations, it was again a very time-taking and elaborate activity. Later on, when we went paperless in 2017-18, that also gave us an activity when we went in phases. So we have been doing IT and digital innovations off and on everywhere. But in a structured way for the digital transformation journey, we started in 2019. And we decided that first we'll do an assessment of where we are compared to the international companies. Because in India, hardly we have competition, frankly speaking. So that is why we hired a consultant. We did a benchmarking, a digital maturity survey. And then we identified gaps from where we are to where we should go. Based on those gaps in 11 different domains, production, drilling, exploration, logistics, marketing, all those areas, we identified initiatives totaling around 68 in number. Then we went one step further that, okay, we'll not go with an approach of pure ghar ke badal na lunga, we'll go in a staggered way, in a stepped way, and we decided phases in which we'll be implementing. So we prioritize initiatives, and in phases we have started doing it. In the first phase, we did some initiatives, some on pilot, some on all India, which are right now in different stages of implementation. Some of the few initiatives that have really started giving us benefits, I'll tell you, is one of them is the AI/ML-based data analytics that we have implemented. So if you see in exploration area, it's a very risky and a very, person-intensive job to study and tell where we should drill the well next in a reservoir based on the reservoir characteristics, the sand study, and so many things go into it. We try to emulate that using data analytics, and we have come out with a case study in which we identified in a particular work center of ours where should be the next drilling location. 5 such locations we have come out with, and we are now drilling in that location. If we get prospects of oil, that will be probably the first AI/ML based case of exploration locations being diagnosed for that. In drilling analytics also, we have done a lot of analytics on that, predicting when the pipe is going to get stuck up while they are drilling, or when there can be a gas kick in advance, so that we have this safety in hand and adequate measures can be taken beforehand, avoiding accidents and even increasing the operational efficiency by trying to identify the non-predictive time when a rig is waiting, but it's not we are able to find out what is the reason, things like that. So these are some of the initiatives that we have already implemented. Others are in the pipeline. We already have a roadmap. In the next 4-5 years, we plan to achieve the full-scale digital maturity as is there for the international oil companies.
No, thank you so much, Mr. Krishna. And you're right, it's a start, and you have a roadway. You mentioned one of the key use cases around safety. That's very critical in the whole oil and gas domain, right? And it's prevalent in mostly all of them. I think with ONGC, one of the key things you highlighted is you have a plethora of data. I mean, your whole starting point is from the geophysical data that you come in and then process that to take some of those decisions. Where to drill, how much to drill, again, in some cases of old wells, your EOR, etc. So I think that's a critical element. With that, and coming to you, Vikram, to now get a different perspective, right? Which is, I would say, from the solution provider or the technology provider, and also global perspective, whether it's from upstream or downstream, what are some of the digital journeys you've seen, and maybe as HP itself within your company, but you would have worked with many others. What are some of the things that you've heard and things that you can share with the group in terms of?
Sure, thanks, Manas. In fact, BPCL, IOCL and ONGC are our very large SAP customers, so happy to be part of this distinguished panel. So we've been part of, when we look at manufacturing, oil and gas is a very, very big sector for us. And we have been associated with all these large corporations in India for more than 2 decades, and we cherish those relationships. So the journey which started with core ERP, and then we moved into different other streams also. So like currently when we talk to our oil and gas customers, we are talking about retail outlet automation, like sir said, the dispensing unit, how it locks up, or, if there is any water leakage in the tank, what happens. So, we are working at the, automation at the outlet. Then also, trying to look at use cases which are related to the technology that we provide in terms of IoT or, connectivity. So whether it is connecting the retail outlets, running the analytics, or even looking at different outlets, like LPG bottling plant, a refinery, what kind of video-based security we can provide, vehicle tracking, that has also been a very, very important initiative that we are working with our oil and gas customers, because pilferage runs into thousands of crores, right? So I think that is a very, very important area. So we are also working with them in the vehicle tracking area. So just to continue from what I just tried to present in my earlier session, we are looking at what edge-based initiatives we can do in these companies, because use cases are very different. This is a process industry, and safety and different standards come in. So that is one. Second is in terms of hybrid cloud. So a lot of these customers have very, very large IT footprints. And Amal sir mentioned about ONGC, SAP being one of the large implementation. Probably we take great pride in them being one of the largest three-way DR for their SAP. Others are mostly two-way. So that is another complex environment. So something is, you have a DC, you have a near DC, then you have a far DC. So how do you ensure that data is replicated and there is, consistency checks that are available? And then when we come to AML, we are working with them on various use cases to see how we can help them, do this number crunching, because data is being collected, whether it is a system which is on the rig, like Amal sir mentioned, or from the bottling plants or the refineries. There is a lot of data coming already. It is coming, and it is also known to people. Our whole charter is to how do we work with those respective OEMs and get data in a meaningful fashion so that some decision can be made, because data is available. If you give reams of data or terabytes of data, nobody is going to make head or tail of it. So how do we make sense from that data and give some, few parameters, like if Behera sir mentioned about outlet, how do we ensure that outlet doesn't get too crowded? Can we direct them to a nearest, closest location or something like that? So these are some of the initiatives that we are trying to work specifically in the oil and gas sector, and specifically with ONGC on the geopic side. We have been involved, and we are working to see how we can be part of their large HPC setups, or help in their some of their interpretation or seismic processing systems.
Sure. No, that's a good summary of some of the work that you've been in. In fact, you highlighted a very relevant element from HP side, which is some of the retail automation work. See, that's literally what we call, from a hub and spoke perspective, the end of the spoke, right? Which is where you literally need edge computing. There is a safety requirement, right? Because you cannot have significant energy intensive in a pump where you're actually fueling, right? And this could be true for some of the remote centers as well, Mr. Krishna. So what I'll do is now I'll again turn back in the reverse order, and coming to you, Mr. Krishna, on some of these, the other aspect Vikram mentioned around AI, right? There is a lot of buzz around ChatGPT. Many of you would have probably used ChatGPT. How many of you, let's engage the audience, how many of you have used ChatGPT? So clearly much more hands raised. So open source works, nothing against HP. but coming to you, Mr. Krishna, how do you see it's all well and good to have this kind of buzz, right? But what is the real world business use case, right, that you're really seeing for ChatGPT? Yes, one, but part of the broader AI/ML setup, which I think makes more sense for ONGC.
Yeah. So, see, I would like to start just with a small statistics. If you would see, the number of mobile phones reaching 100 million users took around 16 years. The number of people on Facebook, 100 million users, took around 4.5 years. ChatGPT has reached 100 million users in 3 months. So the impact of ChatGPT you can assess from this, and definitely it's a game changer. There's no doubt on that. But the question, the moot question is, AI has been there for several years. Why suddenly it has become so much in the news? The fact is, AI always used to be in the behind the scene. There was no way of talking to the AI. But now AI has learned our language. And that has given it a direct interface with us. Because of that, AI has gained a lot of relevance and a lot of importance also. Now, coming to the use in organization sector, of course, ChatGPT like AI and things like that are just, we have now just completed anniversary this last week for ChatGPT. But it has now, we are already in the 4th version there. So it has immense potential. But right now in organizations, I think mostly it is being used as a virtual assistant, be it in communication requirements, or maybe interpreting logs, or even in the predictive maintenance area, interpreting of those things. It's not directly now in the business, but the potential is immense. And I think a lot of companies are working on this, including ours also, that how we can have this ChatGPT like AI interface, or Gen AI in today's language, in our own scenario, in our own organization, where all are the areas where we can use it. And the beauty of this is the returns are immediate and intense. So that is why even if it's a small thing, we have decided to start with small, like I mentioned, the reservoir thing, the prediction of the location. It takes a couple of months for people, 10, 12 people to study and come out with the locations. If I can do it in 2 days or 3 days, a lot of man days I am saving. It may or may not match the equivalence of the intelligence right now that the human is putting in. But even if it's 80%, it's a lot of manpower saved, a lot of efficiency we get. Likewise, in other areas also, we are examining the things that we can do in this. So it has immense potential, and we are at early stages, I'll say, but definitely in the next year when we talk about it, we'll have definite use cases that we have.
It is a journey, as you rightly said. The impact is immense, like we saw from the quick raise of hands and the statistic you mentioned. Coming to you, Mr. Nambiar, similarly from Indian oil context, I'm pretty sure there'll be more use cases that you're seeing, and you can talk a little bit about how that impact is there.
So I was talking earlier about the change management. So one of the initiatives as part of the change management is about conducting hackathons to reach across the organization about what digitalization is. So recently we conducted, as the 4th hackathon that we conducted in our journey, is about generative AI hackathon, the ChatGPT hackathon. We associated with Microsoft and then got that done in last May. We started that, and it has been concluded recently. So it is very interesting to know that people, not only people who are systems, people are able to use these kind of generative AI technologies. So the use cases, of course, I don't want to tell now what are the use cases, but generally it has been one in exploration, one in summarization of reports, then market research kind of initiatives. So this will give a lot of potential to the organization. So when you see about, when you talk about AI generally, how do you consider intelligence? They say, scientists say that learning a language is the most difficult thing that any living being can have. So if somebody is able to learn a language, then you should consider him or her as intelligent. So now computers are trying to learn languages. So that is the background, that is where it is coming from, the large language models and small language models that are coming out. So when you know language, I'm just thinking aloud, if language comes into the computers, and from language comes imagination, right? So from imagination comes emotion, from emotion comes love, from love comes hate, from hate comes, say, violence, and from violence, it is finally death. So you have the crust and the trough both covered with this from birth to death. So I think people you already know that people are talking about how AI and these kind of large language models can actually change the way it could even create trouble. It could be negative as well as positive. So if you are thinking about the positive side, I think a lot of benefits that we can derive from ChatGPT kind of OpenAI or any other tools. But in adoption side, when we see that in oil and gas, especially where we are part of the CII, I think there is some reservation into adoption of the ChatGPT because many of this data goes out for processing. So we are also trying to do some work internally also. We have a Center of Excellence for Analytics within our team, which we are also exploring new technologies with AI and like summarization of data, bringing out emails, coming out data from email, and even probably translation and all those things also can be part of the systems.
Great. No, thank you. And you rightly highlighted that while AI has significant potential, right, and reach to that extent, that itself is a double-edged sword, right? So that potentially has certain concerns if unfiltered or governed, if I were to put it that way. So coming to you, Mr. Panda, again, if you could throw some light of some of the initiatives around AI ML. I know demand forecasting is, there's a significant effort that has gone in there, but it helps you in decision making. But if you were to allow it in some other areas, maybe talk a little bit about some of the initiatives, but some of the challenges that you're seeing with AI and the broader digitalization.
Okay. ChatGPT has put a lot of pressure because each and every stakeholder comes with a requirement which has to be done on ChatGPT. So that has created a lot of pressure in we IT as development team faces. It also helps because a lot of the code developers are able to get it generated in a matter of minutes, which would have taken them days. So that is the advantage also. ChatGPT has definitely too many possibilities. But generative AI, as of now, I feel the guidelines and the policies also need to be in place, governance of this, because it can be catastrophic, lead to catastrophic effects also. So good effects are definitely there. There are multiple use cases. We have also dangled into a little bit of generative AI with open source only, Llama 2. But that's limited to few use cases of HR and legal department. Nothing much as of now. But definitely we are looking into that as a great area of exploring.
Sure, sure. No, I think you're right. The potential is there. It's not only for end users in a sense like some of us, but for software development itself, and many, whether that's even for Python or others or PySpark, there are significant libraries that exist which can be absolutely used. ML it's in itself, in some of the modeling thereof, there are other libraries that can be reused. So it's not that you have to do it ab initio from the wheel. But having said that, there is need for governance, as you rightly highlighted. With that, Mr. Biswas, coming to you, another aspect of governance is, the whole security aspect, right? Because increasingly, as many of the use cases we talked about, many of our operational technology or OT or, our assets, so to speak, retail ones are still, front and center close by, but ones like what Mr. Krishna said, or some of your gas processing units, or say Pata, Vijaypur, etc., as they get linked, right? As you put in IoT devices, the ability to, let's say, hack, again, hack by itself is a positive term. From a negative way, if one does hack it, there is a lot of national data, there is a lot of energy security information, and your basic operations itself. How do you see this convergence playing out in some of the initiatives you're doing, and what more needs to be done at a national level?
Well, whenever we talk of IT-OT integration or IoT. The question of cyber security looms large on our head, and above our head. This is a big shift. I mean, earlier, traditionally, we had our plants at remote locations where equipments were running on their own, I mean, without, and suddenly we bring it to the public glare that these things are no more in isolated or hidden. So we expose it to cyber security threats. So it's a big concern, and this IT-OT or IoT brings both. I mean, definitely some challenges, big challenges, but along with this, some good opportunities also for improvement. Like big challenge is that it increases the attack surface. Earlier, cyber criminals did not think of approaching those equipments easily. Now, since it is connected, world is connected, it definitely gives a bigger attack surface, this integration. And so we have to take special care to safeguard our critical infrastructures in this new environment. Then we have to focus on resilience and redundancy also. Like we have to take care of if there is any attack, what we will do, what is our preparedness, how fast we can recover from that situation, and for that what redundancy we will have to put in place. These things give us an opportunity to improve also. So then we integrate, since we are opening up our systems, we integrate with new technology like AI, IoT, and with that we get immensely benefited when we integrate this our equipments, plant equipments with network. Then we have to take special care for training our manpower for building a in-house talent pool, which can take care of initial level cyber threat incidents, and also we have to line up with big experts available to handle a serious cyber threat. So, and another aspect is that we have to make our employees aware, and for that we need to train them, and we need to organize awareness programs so that they are knowledgeable of these cyber threats, and they can try to prevent it at the initial level. Also,
sure.
Once we integrate these equipments, then we have to change our processes also, like we have to monitor these continuously. If there is any, if there is any upgrade in the protection systems and all those things, we have to immediately take action and bring those patches, etc. So these are some of the points which arise.
Sure. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, one is, of course, the connectivity, and the point is the threat is not static. It keeps evolving, and your need to therefore keep upgrading. Your thoughts, Mr. Behera, on that, and especially I would stress on the people aspect, right? So you can always engineer your solutions, put certain firewalls, etc. But if the social engineering aspect part of it fails, how does that? So maybe touch upon both those aspects, because some of your assets are just around us. I mean, there is a gas pipeline going nearby. There is billing and metering, for example, is a key area that gets tampered. So your thoughts on that, cyber physical security?
Yeah, good question. Cyber security is concerned. Basically, this is a very big challenges for the oil and gas sector. Majorly in downstream also, because always we are interacted with the customer level. So pilferage is just there. So we have to see in very deep in manner. Anyhow, we are very particular about the IT security point of view, but we are somehow slightly lax on the OT security point of view. That is a critical factor for us. So as per my understanding, we have to secure that area very because OT parties, basically those who are managing, they are not that maybe knowledgeable or in that point of view, how that security can be hacked on that area. Just I am giving you an example. I have done one kind of assessment in the CCTV area. I have seen out of 70% CCTV are vulnerable in that way. Why? The mainly thing is that page is not updated, maybe firmware is not updated. That is a very critical. So that is, we are not looking day by day in that way. So that is a very much vulnerable to the organization. Suppose any hackers point to that area, then easily he can enter into your system. So my is somebody look after the OT security must. That is definitely prevent you a lot in the future.
Sure. No, thank you, Mr. Behera. We are running a little out of time, but your thoughts, Mr. Ramakrishnan, on security, but also I would kind of say your concluding thoughts on the potential that you see. I mean, of course, security is an ongoing and vigilance is critically required, but as you do that, what do you see the future holds?
So, I would put it like this, we have got this, we implemented SAP and all that. That was the, I will say, one is the traditional IT, okay. Traditional IT is, where we had everything was in on-prem, all your data, or your internet, sorry, not internet, all your servers, everything was on-premise, all your data was within your, under your control, okay. And other one is the, I would call it hybrid IT, okay. That is what most of the organizations are having. One is the traditional IT, one is the other where for example, all our initiatives, customer-centric initiatives on cloud, okay. That is done by our, marketing wing, okay. And besides that, we have got, in various, in refineries, pipelines, the operational technology, okay. So in this system, what is happening, and with the digital initiatives, the problem is now the exposure of data is very high. So definitely, cyber security, we have to be careful about it. So in BPCL, we have got, we have been cyber security practices that's in the last 2 decades. But now with more and more initiatives, that we have to be more careful, because number of threat surface also has increased. Okay. So how do we manage this? Basically, our cyber security program is basically 3 aspects are there. One is the technology, one is the processes, one is the people. Okay. When you say technology is, there are multiple layers of control are there to manage cyber threats. Okay. Like if one layer of control, fails, there is second layer will take care. Okay. Like that. And multiple, controls are there at the entry and exit points of, say, emails, or internet, servers, okay, and the endpoints, laptops, and all that. So that is one, the technology part. Second is the policies. Policies, when you talk about policies, So right from the board level to the down the level, everybody is in the picture. Okay, basic directions are given by the board. In fact, today what is happening is even we have to the status of cyber security we have to report to the ministry and all that. So board gives the directions and different levels people manage it. And broadly, how do we manage is we have got broadly 4 policies and around 38 to 40 guidelines are there. In the case of policy, I can say that we have got the main information security policy. Then nowadays we do a lot of outsourcing jobs. So a lot of third parties are involved. So we have got a separate policy for third party. Okay, and separate policy is like for operational technology. There is a separate policy is there. Okay, because a lot of initiatives are done by refineries and pipelines and other divisions. So we have got a separate policy and separate policy for employees usage policy. Okay, and that is one part. The CISO is the person who implements the cyber guidelines and all that. Then other one is the people. People is the most critical, the weakest link I would say. They play a big role, and there I will, like certain basic things which we expect from employees is that, simple things like don't share your logins, don't share your password, okay, take care of your, endpoints like laptop, etc., physical security of that, okay. If some phishing drills, like we carry out phishing drills, some phishing emails comes, then they have to report to the CISO or the concerned person so that they can take action. So like that, we have got, program is there to that we implement. But what I would say in the future, now we more and more initiatives we take, definitely we have to be careful about it, because the issue is all our, when you talk about operational technology or marketing wing who implements various initiatives, they are, the basic cyber security, we only have to address, like the traditional IT only have to address, because the CISO comes under us and we have to take care of the cyber security of the entire organization. So it is a big challenge, and every day, the type of threats which comes, that it changes on a daily basis. So we have to be mindful about it.
Sure. No, absolutely, Mr. Ramakrishnan. Just last words, Vikram, from you as we come back full circle. In terms of, we talked about security, but going back to the theme, which is navigating the technology revolution. Any revolution doesn't happen singly, right? There is a significant degree of collaboration that is required, right? Like Mr. Ramakrishnan was saying, for security, it is a combination of technology, processes, and people. You need all these 3 together. Last thoughts on collaboration on really making this digital revolution happening in a minute.
Yeah, when we think of security, I think no amount of security is enough, because it's the malicious attackers are becoming more and more smarter. They have more, ahead of the people who are implementing the technologies. And I hear from customers that, ransomware as a service is available on the web, and, they give you the code and, you just go and execute it. So we as HP since we have a very large edge portfolio, security comes naturally to us. And one of the part of the strategic acquisitions we have done is Zerto. So Zerto, we can't stop ransomware attack. We are not into that. But we can help in detection and prevention, which means that, let's say an organization had a ransomware attack at 11 a.m. in the morning. So we can give you data which was clean 5 seconds before that. So at least when your data is compromised after 11 a.m., okay, it is not usable because they have locked up, and these days they go and encrypt all your backup server, media, everything. So at least as an organization, you are assured that 5-second prior data is available to you, and it is completely platform agnostic, as Ramakrishnan sir very well mentioned. Today in a hybrid world, it is agnostic to VMs. So you can, between VMware, Hyper-V, it is VM agnostic. It is any to any. So cloud to on-prem, on-prem to cloud, between clouds also. Actually, the clouds themselves don't talk to each other, but Zerto is so well advanced that it can, do between clouds also, because their automation, hypervisor, everything is different, right? So that is where it is. And what we look at when we are looking at technology, people and process, so how do we baseline everything? I think very important is, where is your current security posture today, and what is that you want to do in the next few years based on all the new initiatives and the new technologies which are coming. As sir rightly said, I'll give a very practical example. One of our large automotive manufacturing customer implemented OT security with a product, and that runs only on CentOS. So IT team came back to me and said, boss, we are struggling with Windows, Red Hat, SUSE. This team has come and said they want to run on CentOS because they've already decided the application. And we as traditional IT, sir, we have to support it for another 5 years. And he says, I don't even have the people to do that. So imagine the security risks that it comes because the teams only don't understand it. So I think we are trying to work with customers. I mean, we don't know everything. We learn from our customers and we learn from our partners. And whatever we see happening in a particular industry or customer, we try to see whether that is possible to get replicated as a technology or initiative in the other organization.
Sure, no, absolutely. And I think, you stepped on the right word, which is, sharing information and, that, just to give an example on cybersecurity, there was a fairly recent one where it happened with 6th National Bank in US. And because they were able to do that, and they were a subsidiary bank of JP Morgan, they were able to share that information of what was that threat that happened, and it was able to avoid a pan US scale out, which would have impacted a lot others. So I think this collaboration, right, is a key thing. And I think collaboration between this esteemed panel here, all oil and gas veterans, and with partners such as HP, I think we are moving towards digitalization to digital alliances, right? So I think with that, thank you so much to this great panel. Please, a warm round of applause. Thank you.